Hello. I am pretty moved by a situation I wanted to discuss with you. My goal is to initiate a campaign called Stop the Social Trauma and Do Not Terrorize the Marine Life. It's an anti-seismic movement that came from Joe Racano's Thank You Wells operation. And I'm going to be reading a letter that I've sent to San Luis Obispo Board of Supervisors, as well as our Deputy Director up north, Santa Cruz, in addition to Fish and Game Commission. I'm a full-time resident in Santa Barbara, studying for my PhD while working as a research humanistic cognition social scientist. I am raising awareness to our safer ocean community starting from San Luis Obispo County all the way to Santa Barbara County. I am former Downtown Brown community bear mascot of San Luis Obispo, serving Thursday night farmers market, myriad of different parades, and various functions with dignitaries and mayor present throughout the course of the year. I'm no longer in that position anymore, and I today contain time-sensitive information about San Luis Obispo, what is seemingly occurring in our oceans. That being stated, what is happening in Avila Beach, SLO County's community, SLO, means a lot to us because it affects Santa Barbara more than many may presume. Allow me to explain further as follows. I've gotten pretty involved in a very important cause here on the Central Coast. I was in San Luis Obispo last weekend, Labor Day, September 1st, 2012. Basically, Diablo Canyon Nuclear Power Plant via PG&E have covertly started seismic testing in the ocean, and I had the honor to be present to advocate in a Thank You Wells campaign at the same time as Wells being murdered. That which days prior to our presentation, this seismic testing appeared in the waters to begin killing mammals, dolphins, and porpoises unlawfully. It is hard to believe this is occurring during 2012, after the miserable contamination from Exxon Valdez, oil spill, Monsanto corruption, etc. If it continues, the damage will kill all of the marine life, impacting Santa Barbara waters. Scientists don't know how long the impact will take effect, but they're thinking it may be generations. The campaign I attended was simply located at Avila Beach, where PG&E's Diablo power plant is established. President Obama was watching our political participation as independent environmentalists too. There's a link of a report that our government's negligence to not withdraw from using the same technology employed in Peru, hence it killed thousands of marine life, must be stopped with Santa Barbara's help. It makes my heart want to stop, even if I was permitted to provide support in other areas of society pro our humane life sustainability. If I cannot see Santa Barbara walk up to the plate of this moral earth justice, I am calling it, while I assisted in the campaigning of Dos Williams, have reason to believe that our office in Santa Barbara may want to speak with me. That is the office of Lois Capps. I was working with an undercover community activist in Avila, led by community organizer Joe Racano, and was told that this is a very dark happening, because through Aaron Brockovich, legal clerk and environmental activist lawsuit involving PG&E destroying people some years ago, Such did not make enough social transformative change for us today to hold rich America accountable for these crimes. I have lived in Morro Bay, and must tell you that what is happening is beyond criminal minds. Hearing that PG&E never learned their lessons on what power, money, and fraud manifests in our Morro Bay and Avila communities, which is all San Luis Obispo County. PG&E never learned their lessons, not even via what the film arts and social media did around this awareness to stop poisoning people in Avila during Brockovich's investigations. She ended a lot, yes, though not so much as a civil society to be essentially cognizant of what PG&E's plan is to do to historic mammals. Only this time it is involving seas, from Cambria, Big Sur, famous gray whales, sea otters, and sea lions being killed that do not have a voice, all the way down to the tip of Guadalupe, Santa Barbara County. Our wells and murder. Particularly the humpback bay, according to one article I read. The mightiness of a humpback whale as a giant tractor trailer with a nose and a tail. This ocean-born leviathan, who never grows up, rather throws his tons around, breaching like a pup. His eyes are seas of sepia. His voice is briny shrill. He helps himself to dinner at a cloud of shiny krill. And when it's time to go to sleep, he stretches out his fins and floats away to Humpback Bay, where his new day begins. They even have a spout we can watch with our families and take it to this warning sign: a whale may soon jump out of the waters. Around the clock from November to December, sonic blasts will fire every 13 seconds to annihilate completely these wonderful creatures of glory. These violent sounds will be traveling through the sea into the layers of the Earth's crust via mini air cannons dangling in the water behind a boat. Each cannon shoots out a sonic blast of 240 decibels, dB, loud enough to cause instant deafness or death, which for a whale, deafness is death. Divers, swimmers, snorkelers, surfers, children in rafts, and fishermen are projected to be killed if they are in water. Seismic testing at this magnitude is said to be used, for reading earthquakes through a sort of bottom of the ocean MRI. But this could even cause earthquakes and has been projected to be drilling for oil instead. On behalf of political insiders and elitists, as well as very wealthy leaders doing this type of entitled behaviorism, we have been given a projection how grim life will be. It has been assessed that people on land may have dangers. You see, what hell, Armageddon, war crime, and nuclear are to us on Earth will be to the fish in the Pacific Ocean. This is a very urgent matter and beyond death. To explain how evil this is, all of the fishermen in Avila Beach have been paid out $1.2 million each for their lifetime. As we do the sociological mathematics, serious calculations refer to the people being paid like a useless whore society. While this is not even about us, it is all about giving a voice to the marine life being murdered in the name of being sold out through our ignorance and social trauma caused by PG&E. All the fish restaurants in Morro Bay are terrified, said Santa Barbara has a socio-political and nature spirituality to alert the public sector of this greed and corruption. Further, when I was advocating this weekend, there was a boat planted in PG&E in the sea watching us, trying to intimidate our very peaceful work, while they sent light sonic sounds to preliminary scare the marine life to deeper waters. Most of these fish cannot survive in deeper waters, since they are unable to go up for air. The extent of catastrophic destruction will be all dead marine life in Point Bouchon State Marine Reserve is zilch. The local Tribune newspaper in SLO County the next day published an article that stated officials promising if this operation sees any mammals, they would discontinue the project. This is a lie. Justly untrue when we are already finding dead birds and whales on the shoreline of Shell Beach from PG&E starting this testing. PG&E illegally began work and many marine life is in sight. Yet, they continue to assassinate what they can see in the present state of affairs. In hindsight, there is no parking attendant or valet in the ocean to inform fish where to swim to like humans have in a civilized society. So the whales and turtles are confused to the point of chaos. The trauma is happening criminally right now under our noses to send the message for the marine life to become extinct. In gorgeous California, too? Social ecology terrorism. While I was advocating in Avila Beach, PG&E also planted a man in our congregated group that started giving an anti-government speech while the TV station and professional photographers were covering the story. Joe Racano, I think that's the pronunciation of his name, a group leader and director, explained at the end of the day that it was Nazi-based harassment that was to startle and bully us, as if it is supported by a military criminal complex. Our leader stopped this by talking over him, as though to give thanks for the whales. It was mysterious as technique and class that was implemented by his peace talk, especially when Greenpeace showed up to get media attention, immediately turned this toward the seas. This was a very deep grassroots activist stratagem that was only organized through Facebook, while Greenpeace was disabled. As for their over-commercialism would eradicate what was established, this was gradually seen more throughout the day as a totally self-protected work of mankind uniting in faith. It was so beautiful to see moving parts work. Our sincere advocacy was on the news. Consequently, Santa Barbara must co-join in these efforts that I call to action as, quote, do not terrorize the marine life, unquote. In all my work in the gay militant activism circuit, I have been out of the closet as a gay man with passion to bring ethical, welcoming collective consciousness to San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara counties. I have never really seen this nature of activism so effective. Most certainly could be touched by Lois Capps that I have observed in person twice in my lifetime of activism. To give you more of an idea, Peggy Oki, female American skateboarder and surfer, is championing with us amid all of our surfing community in San Luis Obispo County, Surf Riders Foundation, and most of San Diego. The whole world is watching right now, and Santa Barbara is needing to help with our environmental safety movement since Guadalupe, Santa Barbara County, whales will be killed if seismic testing does not end. Apparently, SLO County Board of Supervisors have already approved the seismic testing. Please send your letters to Coastal Commission requesting for process to not be accelerated. We need people in Santa Barbara to please send letters. Handwritten is best. To the following addressees: California Coastal Commission, Central Coast District Office, Dan Carl, Deputy Director, Madeline Cavalieri, District Manager, 725 Front Street, Suite 300, Santa Cruz, California, 95060. And Mr. Sonke Mastrup, Executive Director for the California Fish and Game Commission, 1416 9th Street, Sacramento, California, 95814. As I say, it is important that these letters get to the right people. It is a beautiful opportunity to bring all people together to handwrite letters This is a social science emergency opportunity. Coastal community, for every coastal community to have these addresses published on television, plus Facebook and petition information, so we can preserve what should never be devastated from man's criminality, greed, in addition to deep-rooted corruption. I understand Lois Capps was in Morro Bay yesterday. That was the day I was doing some political participation and social ecology activism. This is what I was advised she said about the seismic testing in Morro Bay. Involved social action. While listening to the concerns of fishermen and business owners, all worried about seismic testing, local rumor, she is against it and would be helping us. My opera friend, Deanna Delore, called their office in Washington, D.C. this morning to get a quote. Here it is as follows, quote, "We haven't taken a position yet," unquote. Deanna Delore owns Voce Studio. It's a vocal studio in Arroyo Grande. She gives voice lessons. So we might want to be very immediate on contacting Lois Capps' office in Washington, D.C. Their telephone number is 202-225-3616. I'm working with her office in Santa Barbara County. Please circulate this information to everyone you know. It affects all of us. We only have until November 1st to stop it. And I can help advocate to end this if you promote the work that I'm trying to do in reference to ethical social justice and democracy promotion without force. I thank you for your immediate attention. We want to make social ecology history, and we want to save the sea life. Quote, "Thank God men cannot fly and lay waste the sky as well as the earth," unquote. That's author and poet Henry David Thoreau. Please do all that you can do. Thank you kindly.